We cannot imagine the intensity of their suffering or the dark depths of their loneliness and despair that prevented from reaching out to you or to us for help. We cling to the promise you have made in Psalms 34:18, where you say, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those Christian spirit. From this, your word, we believe that you, your great tender mercy, we're near to our dear one. At the hour of their death, your majesty, your mysterious power, saving power, was at work in their final moments here on earth. We cling to the hope that our dear one is now surrounded by your healing, loving presence. We claim Revelation 21:4 for our dear Matt and for ourselves. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. For the old order of things has passed away. Dear Father, we lay before you a burning question weighing heavily on all of our hearts today. We offer these questions to you as part of our continuing yet wounded love for our dear one. We wonder if we could have done something to intervene before it was too late. We are second guessing whether the precise we didn't know how to read. We are examining our thoughts and actions, questioning whether we expressed our love and support often never adequately. We place ourselves, our questions, our guilt, and our regrets at the foot of the cross.
When I first met him, there was nothing talk about him being on TV or nothing. It was just an instant friendship. He was like a brother to me. My son Matthew looked up to him like an uncle, and every time that Matt and Matthew would see each other, if Matt was with somebody, he would introduce little Matthew to and say, "This is my little buddy with the same name." But he's got red hair and I don't.
He had such a beautiful soul right from the get-go and such a hoorah positive attitude.
He would look at everything and see beauty, and I just ask that you do the same. Love you, Matt, and be kind. He emanated goodness and kindness, and at his core, it was all love, and everything out of love.
As to many of you, I sat watching that brilliant family on TV and the main star, Matt Brown. I mean, who couldn't watch him? The eyes, the hair, the flowing language. I mean, he was charismatic. The guy could just literally take a jar of peanut butter and make it into Skippy. You know, he was just good at that. There's nothing he couldn't do in this world. And there's not one person he didn't touch. And if you're not here today, I guarantee in some way or another, one of his sayings or one of his motives or mottos touched you in some way or another.
God's put it on my heart 3 or 4 times to come and see Matt, and I did. I come saw him and I talked to him. And one time I was in Florida and I drove clear home. Another time I was in Chicago and I drove home. And the last time I was up in Alaska and I come back and God put it on my heart to say what I said on the video. I didn't want to. You don't ever want to think that was going to happen to anybody. But it's something we had to do, right? We got to be obedient. So we all know that Matt had a lot of pain. But Matt was also a really good guy. I'm telling you, he'd give you the shirt off his back. He was a really good guy that just got in a spot that was down. We all get there. So don't forget your neighbors. Don't forget your friends. You know, if you don't see someone for a while, reach out. Don't let this come. So we have another one of these. So let's remember Matt for who he was, not who he become. So Matt, this last time we pick you up, help you get home.
This guy drove all the way, so we got to give him something.
After I didn't even get a shirt
Oh no! Right on, guys.
or a hot dog.
We've got hot dogs for him. He just doesn't want to eat my wiener.
Not that kind. Get a video of him driving on. He's gonna blow the horn too. He loves blowing that horn. I saw you guys driving around yesterday, getting stuff together at the post office and everything. There it is. Sounds like he's going 100 miles an hour. Matt? Yeah, I know. It's really bad. It's worse than I thought, you know? There goes the parade route. That's mine right there. The Porsche.
Oh, nice.
I just built that up
That's awesome.
just recently, and this is the maiden voyage right now. There's Juan. Juan's got his Chihuahua, his lifeguard shirt.
Awesome.
So tomorrow, okay, I made it to Oroville. I'm in Oroville. I'm heading up into the Cascades again. I made it to the memorial. I got to meet some cool people. So I'm excited to report on what that is going to lead to. I'm heading up to Loomis now from Oroville. So Loomis is really where Matt Brown lived, or most of the time, I think. He was in Oroville a lot. I found out that there really isn't any AA meetings in Oroville or Loomis. These towns, Loomis is really, really out there. I'm heading there now. It's 40 minutes from Oroville and up in the mountains even more. And it's just beautiful out here. This is some serious rural cowboy country, Washington State, eastern Washington State. Beautiful up here, orchards, cows, mountains, that famous eastern Cascades, Penticton area, Kelowna, scrubgrass, ponderosa pine, basalt rock, some big basalt rocks. Man, they're gorgeous. I still have an hour or so of light to at least to explore, and that's what I'm doing. I met Fung. His name is Fung Guy. His channel is Fungi something. He's really the one, him and his wife, that organized the whole memorial. And I met a guy named Juan who was, a cool guy from Okanogan, I think. And he was a friend of Matt's, a good friend of Matt's, from what I could gather. He had some cool stories about Matt and how he got his truck. We got to see the truck. It's in even worse shape than I imagined. It's really in bad shape. I got a bunch of pictures of it, and so that'll be fun. I'm gonna post those, and I met Jack, who has been kind of the sidekick to Fung guy a little bit. Jack has a channel that he's kind of getting going. So Fung guy has a channel, Jack has a channel, Matt had a channel, I got a channel. A lot of these guys, apparently, like, there's just a lot of people that were inspired by Matt. And like I say, he had a real talent. This is a windy road up the river in the high country here. Man, it's beautiful. I can't see that great looking forward because I'm going right into the sun, which is great for you. But the car cam is getting the bright sun, that's for sure. It'll probably change as we change our direction and get up here a little farther. I thought that I had a problem, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm learning. When I was coming here and recording part one, I was the part one where I laid out all of the backstory of Matt and what happened to him, and why I was coming out here, and why I'm think that he's a very special person that is enigmatic of our time. I think he's a very good microcosm of our time. And that's why I'm kind of digging in on Matt a little bit here. I think it's a good opportunity, and he deserves his story to be told. Man, that river is gorgeous. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going to camp, but I can camp anywhere with this rig, and I've got a few places staked out, and I got my eyes open here. So Jack has a channel, and apparently I'm telling you, they got so many letters and emails, and they couldn't, go through them all. They the presents, contributions for the memorial. I mean, this is just here in Oroville, and the family lives around here too. And yeah, I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to blame them for anything, but yeah, there's opinions around here. And I'm trying to learn about that. I want to learn more about Jamie, really. And hopefully I can get more information. I'm going to meet Tom, hopefully, and I'm going to meet Jack tomorrow. Jack is going to do a live stream on his channel, and he invited me to be a part of it. And he's going to read out the letters that people have written about Matt. So we're going to do a show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. That's Pacific time. Boy, there's some nice camp spots out here. Miners Flat, I can camp anywhere out here. Boy, this nice places to camp. It's totally rural out here, wilderness, and you could pull off the road and camp along the river here just about anywhere. And I might just do that, get a little fishing in too. I do have my my stove, and I have my fry pan. the fry pan that I've had from the Army surplus. I've got gear, you know, I'm 55 years old. I've got some gear that I've had a long time. And even though I could go buy fancy new stuff, I do have fancy new stuff too. I got this fancy memory foam mattress back here. I'm really looking forward to that. Cost a penny, but I think it'll be worth it for sleeping in the back of the Porsche. And I got this fancy Thule box on top that is full of, I just packed it with, you know, everything that I thought I could need on the road. You know, I'm kind of exploring with this. This is kind of a test run. Matt's family didn't show up. And like I said, I'm not going to blame them. And they said that, they told me that the clouds formed two crosses in the sky. Two crosses in the sky. They you know, people do this. They think, well, that was Matt. Was obviously up there with them, they think. I don't know. I don't know what people think about that. I do believe in God and Jesus, and I'm really into the Bible and figuring out what it says in there, and I'm not convinced that it's totally clear what the wow, look at those pools of bugs just swarming in the sunbeams. Wow, that's amazing. I hope that shows up on the camera. The birds are just swarming through them. It's so beautiful in here. Yeah, what happens when we die? What happens when we die if we do a self thing? 988 is that phone number. 988. If you need it, call it. 988. Or write to me in the comments or on my website. Get a hold of me. You can get my email, get a hold of me. 988. What happens when that happens? A lot of people ask that question. They have a lot of opinions on it. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. I am a fairly biblically scholared person, and I tend to believe in the real basic. When Jesus was on the cross, the thief who was being crossed next to him, he told him that you will be with me today in paradise. You will be with me today in paradise. And so I think that's the standard. That's right from the horse's mouth. I think that's as good as we're gonna have in this world. I think there's things that we're meant to know, and there's things that we're maybe not meant to know. God will reveal in His time. So that's the report on the memorial. I don't know how Matt was ever going to drive across country in that Scottsdale truck. I know Juan helped him get the truck. Juan helped him get another car. He told me the story about that. But I sure can drive across country in this. And I don't know, you know, I was looking for a van. I was thinking about going with the van. I've been thinking about the sailboat too, up to Alaska and the north. But right now, you know, I bought this car last summer, and I've just slowly warmed up to the how the Porsche Cayenne is a real thing. It's a really an amazing car. It's a very heavy duty, very stout, capable four-wheel drive and highway, you know. And so I've been experimenting with, there's a lot of things I can do, and you know, just maybe, and I'll tell you something that I found really interesting about the vans for anybody else who's, considering this stuff. I watched a video. I wish I could tell you the name of the person in the video. You might be able to search it and find it, but I watched this one video of this couple, and they had crunched the numbers between the cost of buying a nice van and traveling and living in it versus the cost of traveling in a Subaru, which is, kind of similar. This is a lot nicer than the Subaru, but and staying in Airbnbs. This is kind of a middle ground, I think, because I can stay in this and Airbnbs, but they crunched the number in that it was considerably cheaper to stay in Airbnbs than it was to buy a van, live in a van, travel in a van. When you add up all the things that you have to pay for with the van. Ooh, what's this? It says Chopaka Canadian Customs, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. And then the other Soyuz Canadian Customs back that way. And this sign over here says Nighthawk, which is way the fuck up there. There's all kinds of back areas here that I'm kind of exploring. That's river. There's a bunch of cows down there, and it's just beautiful. So this is what I do when I make videos. At least what I've been doing is I learn how to, I'm learning. I take pictures and travel and talk, and it's just a style that I'm working on. All these cows here, so beautiful. And a farmhouse and the river down there. I think I'm gonna stay on mission here and continue to Loomis, and there's a lake before Loomis called Palmer Lake. That's where we're heading. And the sun is going down behind the mountains. And so this trip, I don't know, tomorrow I'm going to go on Jack's podcast and help him read those letters. I hope you enjoy this type of content. Boy, there's some nice spots here just off the side of the road here. I am getting better, and I am learning a lot about so much to learn about editing. And if you want to do this kind of level of complexity, and it's interesting, I do have a book to publish, and I keep that in mind that, I do have kind of a primary focus, which is my book, of course. But I also, this is what I want to do. So I'm going for it. And that's my message to you guys is don't let anything stop you from your dream that you know that God, that dream that I believe God puts this dream inside of us. I think Matt had it inside of him, but it gets clouded by worldly stuff. You got to fight past that stuff. On that note,
Sophia, I forget her last name, took a fifth of vodka, her sandals, her shorts, a t-shirt, and her Honda up totes Cooley as far as she could possibly go. Then she got out and she walked and she sat down next to a tree and she finished that fifth of vodka and she never woke up. I went up there and I tried to find her. I thought that maybe she got out there and she changed her mind. And she was strong enough to be able to make it. And I could go where others couldn't, and I could start a fire, and she'd see it, and I could save her. Well, I wasn't able to save her. I tried to save somebody that looked like her, and that was a mistake.
Good morning, everyone. I'm at a place called Hawali Camp. Must be the Wally or the Hawali family. It says established 1945. It's a really cool camp up here on Chopaka Mountain where I camped last night. I don't know if these are gravestones or memorials or what. Pretty cool. Deer out here grazing. Just wanted to show you the camp. There's the Porsche. I camp under a tree. I check my compass too to see which direction the sun is going to rise because it was dark when I got here. And I want to make sure that when I wake up that I'm not getting hammered by sun. So I park under a tree. I know the sun's going to rise up that way and I'll be protected here. It worked out for the most part. Very comfortable in my memory foam mattress. Just getting the coffee going here. I push this guy down. Yeah, that's the smell of victory. If there ever was one. I'm gonna work here on my video, loading these and doing a little bit of editing this morning before I take off while I sip on my coffee. That's my kit there. That's my drone. It's all folded up, you know, and where I'm recording everything. This is kind of the inside here. I don't know if you can really see it, but yeah, this mattress here, it put the passenger seat forward and I can be real comfortable. I watched a movie in here last night that was called Once Upon a Time in Loomis, filmed by Matt Brown, right up here on this very mountain. I want to see here how this coffee turned out. Let's see here. French press, and we got some vanilla bean flavor. Oh, yeah. So we're sitting on the back of the Porsche here, and this is the first time I've camped in a long time. Long time. Let me tell you, I used to do a lot of road wandering. A lot. I figure I traveled at least 500,000 miles. I used to have a setup kind of similar to this, so this isn't my first time. I had a Toyota T100 back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I hit the road a lot all over the West. I was skiing back then, and this before we had all this camera video technology, but I went out skiing on the Rockies and the Canadian Rockies and all the cool places that I always dreamed about skiing. Yeah, and I would camp in the back of that truck. I had a canopy on it, and I had a box. You know, not too different than this. Now we're in the SUV era. People still do trucks, though. Shout out to Truck House Life. But yeah, I'm camped under this big Doug fir here up on Chopaka Mountain at the Hawali camp. And I watched the movie last night with that Matt made. Nat Brown made this movie. It was called Once Upon a Time in Loomis. I went to Loomis. It's right down there at the bottom of the mountain. I went there last night. Met a guy named Dan. And Dan told me a story about a woman who went up here on this mountain in about 2022, and she self-deleted up here. Mention the phone number 988 to call if you have any issues that you want to talk to somebody about. 988, or you can get a hold of me through my website. That's at DouglasAleutian.com. Yeah, it's a thing. I'm building this whole thing up. You can get a hold of me there. Email me. You're not alone. You're really not. You're really, really, really not. So this guy in Loomis last night, Dan, that I met, he told me that she came up here and she was only 22 years old. Yeah, she was only 22 years old. And she was beautiful. So, yeah, you think it only affects men, but it doesn't. The loneliness epidemic, dystopian future that we are in now, here, now, it affects all of us. But I thought it was real interesting about that, and I know that's about the same time that Matt's dad, kind of prematurely died. I'm not exact. I can't remember if it was a heart attack or stroke. Billy Brown died around that time, and that was a big deal for Matt, and I think Matt got sober around that time from what I can tell. and that was here. That was all here. Here, Loomis. There's a he also this guy that I met last night. He in Loomis. He told me about there's a mountain on the other side here. This is Chopaka Mountain. There's another big mountain over on the other side that's called Palmer Mountain, and Palmer Mountain is the part of that area there. There's Palmer Lake, and which is beautiful, and Palmer Mountain, and that's the mountain that the Brown family moved to. So when you watch the Alaska Bush People show, in the last couple seasons, they moved down to Washington, and that Palmer Mountain, I'm pointing over there because I can see it sort of through the trees, but that's where they are, so still, and that's also where they settled to. There's an eagle screeching over us here. And that's where the show was filmed there. So over here, Chopaka Mountain, it's a big area. You can drive up here and explore and hike, and that's what Matt did, and that's where he filmed his shows. And that movie I watched last night, Once Upon a Time in Loomis, I had it on my phone. I just happened to have it saved there on YouTube, and look it up. It's really good. It's a movie Matt made, Once Upon a Time in Loomis, and man, I mean, now it's like almost prophetic seeing that. The story that he told in there was just compiled some videos that he had that he'd taken over a while. He decided to kind of put it together like a movie, but he had this one guy that I think his name was Dan. He come up, real wounded warrior, come up and met him from the channel, and came up and visited him, and he was, that guy was messed up, but Matt was trying to help him. There's a woodpecker pounding over there. You hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's daytime now. The sun's up, and all the animals is construction season. Some deer roaming around here, and cows, and so yeah, he took him up to Palmer Lake, and they skipped rocks and stuff in that movie, and then later on in the movie, the middle part of the movie, he shows him fixing his transmission on his truck with Tom, who I hope to go find today.
And Tom's helping get me back on the road too.
You guys get this transmission out yet?
No, not yet. We're just now got it off the ground.
We're done. We're just finished putting the last bolts in right now.
This guy's a nut.
Yeah, right.
Nuts and bolts around here. That's all you get.
So you probably have to take it out to check, make sure we done it right.
Yeah. You're funny. I don't get paid to be the inspector. Oh, actually, I don't even get paid. What am I?
I get paid when they call me up. No more suffering.
Yeah, Tom, he has like an auto shop and heavy equipment, and Tom helped him get a new transmission in that truck, and I think Tom was one of these guys that there was a few other guys in there, and they're hanging out in Tom's shop, and it shows that in the movie Once Upon a Time in Loomis, and I know that's why I relate to. I used to do that with when I was first getting sober with a guy named Zachary. And hang out in his shop, and we just talk. And there's a line in that movie. The man, one of the guys there, he says, "This is where the magic happens."
How's it going, guys? It's good to see y'all down here at the shop. I see this is a nice place to be and hang out. This is where some of the magic happens.
Yeah. I think today that still happens one-on-one with people, with men in shops. I also think it happens here. I think that magic happens here on videos. Because that's what we're doing. That's what Matt was doing. That's what I'm doing. Is we're talking to each other. You're not alone. There's other people out here that are doing the same thing and experiencing the same problems that we're all experiencing. And Matt called it his healing journey up here on Chopaka Mountain. He said that his healing journey was, he had a definition that he put up on his screen of a healing journey from Google definition. It said, he put that up on there, and that's all in that movie. And then he meets Jamie, and Jamie is another wounded bird, and she comes up here from California, and he met her off of Instagram, and he took her up here. She wanted to come up here.
Oh, it's warm in here. Yeah, you gotta slam that thing. There you go.
And so, yeah, I think that's how it all started. I think that's how it all started with him and her. And there's a cabin up here. I might find it today. And they came up here and stayed. And, you know, he was saying he was just trying to help Jamie on her healing journey. He would go off on the side and he would say, yeah, I think that Jamie, she's real quiet. You know, he would make observations about her.
So this has been really neat, getting to bring Jamie up here. She's really cool. I think that she's really enjoyed the mountain experience and everything. It's cool. She's the first person I've ever brought up here, actually. We walked all over the place today. It's neat. It's given the cabin a completely different feeling. Hope that y'all guys are enjoying the adventure too. I know I haven't been covering much. Just been kind of enjoying her adventure here, which has been really neat. She's a cool person and like kind of a thinker. I can see her sit and look and just take it all in and really enjoy and appreciate everything about this place, you know, the wild, the cabin. She's joined me on a lot of adventures, just like y'all do, and I think this is really neat, you know.
You gotta check it out, man. Once Upon a Time in Loomis, and that's Matt's movie. And boy, do I relate to, you know, I can fix her. I can fix her. That's what Matt was doing. That's what he was doing with Jamie. He could fix her. And he got wrecked. Just like we all do. You can't fix her. Nobody can. Nobody. Not, you know, we say that now. Technically, we could, but we're not in that age. You know, we're not, and that's what's so hard for us to get this idea that we can't fix her, because I think that's innate in man. I think that we were born that way. We want to protect, provide, care for. You know, I know some people say that, some people in the red pill say that polylum, coming for you. They say that this is a culturally ingrained gynocentrism to want to protect and provide for women. I don't think so. I think that's totally normal family formation, masculine thing, you know. It's just that the system is haywire because now you've lost all, while you're protecting and providing, you've also given all your power over, and you have no power, and you cannot really lead, which is what you need to do to really protect and provide. You need to be able to lead, but we don't have the power to lead anymore. Because what are you going to do when the world tells her that she needs to live her best life and get rid of you, and you're a narcissist and you're a this or a that, and she goes, her feelings change. It's really as simple as that. Her feelings change. And you can't steady the ship while that happens. In the old days, they didn't have that problem because people would just go through what they went through, you know, but they stayed together. And the guy would tell her to shut up or whatever, you know, and they would move forward, and everything would be back to normal again a day or two later after the cycle passed. But today, the cycle is all that we have. It's just one cycle after another. The phase, as I say, runs the show. And that's what happened to Matt. You know, he thought that he was going to take care of this woman and love her, and she loved him, and then the modern love turns to hate. That's what happened. But he had her up here on this mountain, and she was doing good for a while. You know, that's what happens. That's why I say, to survive and to thrive in the loneliness epidemic dystopian future that is here now, you have to ride through this stuff. I know it's hard. It's really hard. That pain is so severe. But you can do it. You can do it. And what I say, black pill leads to white. You get to this point of acceptance, which is, you know, Matt wasn't able to get there. But you get to a point of where you're realizing that it's not your fault. You can't fix it. And then just enjoy life. Enjoy what we can. This is the cross of our day that we have to bear. This is it. We cannot have families. The world is imploding. And we cannot have healthy families, at least. And we're all kind of doing this thing solo. The whole idea of having a real, you know, partnership with a opposite sex, and it's not sustainable. You know, but I do believe that you can do some things. And I've been working on that. I've been working on this alpha frame solution. That there is, you know, knowing the black pill, accepting, knowing the white pill, moving forward in faith and hope, then you can start to build on that without a false expectation. And build a system, maybe with a woman or with multiple women or whatever your case may be, where you can have companionship and love and family, even to a certain extent, with a woman under a sort of new safer approach to protect ourselves and understand that there's a really high chance that it's not going to go exactly how you want, and to really lower your expectations of what you're going to really get with a modern relationship. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. I have women that I'm seeing that are loving and in proper order, in submission, and following my alpha frame. How long can that be maintained? We'll see. Perhaps, if you find one that is very well qualified, it can be pretty consistent, and you can get your needs met and have some companionship. It's not the love, though, that I had imagined. That romance, that hysteria, I've been in love like Matt was, with Jamie. I could tell,
All right, we just got to the top of the four-wheel trail. Jamie wasn't expecting it. I tell you, we came up on it kind of quick, so I just gunned it, and we're like, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. You having fun?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Me too. Thank you, Jamie. Say hey to Jamie, everybody. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it as pretty as you thought?
It's beautiful here.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if he really said it. He would call her his friend. But I've been there. I've been there more than once. Really deeply in love. And yeah, I think that's a kind of probably a big mistake. And that's a part of the trap, that we get into, the love trap of the modern world, the romance trap of the modern feminist system. Yeah, and that's not how marriages ever were, That's a modern world thing. Yeah, that's not how marriages ever were. Marriages are a commitment, a responsibility, a partnership that you really are working at for the long haul, and it's not love and fun and all that stuff. It's not this romance, this insane passion, but love that's built over time. It's built. Not an emotion. That emotional hysteria, that's the feminine. Not so much that, but more of a deep commitment and a behavior. Love is an action. I saw a sign when I was driving up through, I think it was Omak. It was on a church or something. It was one of these platitudes you see. It said, "God is love." I remember when I thought that. The juvenile approach. That's a kind of a feminine type of spirituality. Kindness, love, my love language, everything, love, love, love. You notice that? See, that's the problem. Yeah, that's not masculine, man.
that's not made in God's image. It's not. It's made in the devil's image to get you fucking fucked up. Yeah. That's love. And, you know, it's just, God is love. And I thought, well, yeah, I mean, I guess. Right? That makes sense. But what is that? Right? It's just that's why I call them platitudes. The feminist world, the blue pill world that we live, it's full of these platitudes, oversimplified bullshit, just psychobabble, garbly-goop bullshit, platitudes. God is love. No, God is everything. God is a lot more than just love. God gets angry too. Does that mean he's not love? Is just pure love? Yeah. I got one of my girlfriends. She's an interesting one. But she moved up to Seattle from Texas 20 years ago at least, and it was all because she was into yoga, and she went to this yoga, guru guy here, and they do that. They do all these meditations, and it's all this Eastern religion stuff that came over, and the certain people, I'm not going to say who, the blue pill people, they love that shit, It's this mixed up Oprah spirituality. Everything's all love. No, I think it's much bigger than that. It's much greater than that. It's way beyond love. Way beyond. But yeah, she came up here and she would meditate, and that's what they do in the meditation. I meditated on pure love, And that's cool, that's cool. I get it, and you want to think about how God is love, and that's good. It's not bad. It's just, if that's all you get, you're going to get wrecked. You're going to get totally wrecked. You're going to follow blindly off the cliff of the modern monogamish era. And I know you guys know this. You've been there. But, the denial is real. There's always a lure, to, oh yeah, I want to go back into that, this perfect love, all these songs, Sade, I used to listen to her. This is no ordinary love, no ordinary love. Yeah, Sade. All right, well, that's our tailgate talk for today with the camera on the tailgate. I'm going to get to work here loading some stuff and finish my coffee and go do a little exploring and get on with meeting more people in Oroville and Loomis and on this mission here. See you soon.
All right, next stop, the Loomis Quick Shop. Not shop, yeah. The Loomis Quick Stop. Breakfast. Breakfast of champions.
Hey, thanks for the delicious burger.
Thanks for
Used to see them all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I put it up at home. I'm working on making it iron right now. Without this time. Oh, yeah, get those things. You know, Lewis, get down on the back. Watch the security pull. Whip. You know what? To work at home, I can't get high enough. But Joe would tell you, if you go up to the top of the mountain over there, it's not very far away. Yeah. Hey. I got it.
Can I get some chicken strips?
You sure can. How many would you like?
3.
3? What about dipping sauce?
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I got salad, honey mustard, tartar, ranch, barbecue, buffalo, and sriracha.
Yeah, that's hard to choose.
When he was in their sheep guys, Honey, did you forget about these radios?
Buffalo.
Yeah, I got the old guy's radios.
And
back in the day. That thing should be in the historical
honey
museum
mustard, I
somewhere.
think.
Should be.
Yeah.
Well, you got the old hotel there.
Good.
Yeah, but that is.
Okay, guys. This is it. This is. Let me get this open here. Get this right. I don't know what I'm doing. This is the Loomis Quick Stop. Famous. And I got the famous chicken strips from the Loomis Quick Stop. Right here. I'm gonna try them out. This isn't my normal diet, but when in Rome, huh? Look at that. They do look good. Chicken is my normal diet lately. I've been eating a lot of chicken. Got some honey mustard and some buffalo sauce. That's spicy. So that's it. Let's try it out. See what the hype is all about. Oh, that is good. Here comes a bunch of tractors. Wow. Well, I just came down off of Chopaka Mountain. I think it's pronounced Chopaka. These are good. Matt was right. This was his favorite store in the whole world. They have good fishing gear in there. good food, ice cream. Loomis is a little town out in the middle of nowhere. You see this rock over here, right there, and that mountain behind there. That's Palmer Mountain. That's where the Browns moved to towards the end of their time on the show, Alaska Bush People. Somewhere up there on Palmer Mountain, I'm told the roads up there are private. This isn't even my normal feeding time, but I wanted to try it. She says they're open until 5. I don't know if I'll be back here by 5. I got back here late last night. I've been camping up on the Chopaka Mountain, which is over there, that way. I got to get back into Oroville today. That's next. To go see Jack and be on his podcast while he opens letters from people who were fans of Matt Brown and sad that he is dead just like me. We're going to open those letters live on live streaming on his channel from Oroville. So I got about an hour to get there, which it's about an hour away. There's 2 ways you can go. One way goes down to Omak. The other way goes over to Oroville. And the Canadian border, which is not far. I'm planning to go back that way on Sunday through Canada. Back over across the Cascades and down to... glad I stopped and got these. Down to Bellingham. All right. Onward to Jack's.